Hey everybody, it's Virginia Jester here from City Mystic, also Magnum Opus Tarot, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the photographic essence of this deck. It's not something we've had a chance to really focus on thus far in the communication around the Kickstarter campaign, and it's actually a huge part of the project and why we were even motivated to do the project. So just a little bit of background, why photography? When I was in high school, I had the unique opportunity to study in a program called junior college, which basically let me go to community college and earn college and high school credits simultaneously while studying exclusively on a college campus, which was, pivotal for me. And during that time, I got to study art, I got to study humanities and philosophy, and I also got to study photography, black and white photography, in a dark room, with my own development, and it was just such an amazing experience, and I got to really develop that while photographing San Francisco, all over the city, all over the coast, on Highway 1, unique little places on the beach around Pacifica, and so that's how I came to fall in love with black and white photography. It captivated me then, and it's never left my heart. Some of my favorite films, I don't even care about the material in the film necessarily because I love so much the black and white photography of the films. A good example of this is the film Angela, which is a French film, and I think it was a pretty popular, mainstream film with, the message is cool, but it really is centered around this ridiculously gorgeous European supermodel, which I don't care about that aspect, but I love the fact that it's shot all along the Seine. It's shot in front of the Notre Dame. It's shot on the Champs-Elysees. It's shot with French architecture and it's all black and white. And so just to give you an idea of my relationship to black and white photography, that's certainly the taste and styling that I love. And so one of the things that we had kind of two essentially different concepts of photography in this deck. On the one hand, we went incredibly simple and clean. The Magician card that you see actually here, that's getting ready to go to a show next week. And it's one photograph. If you look at the giant hand at the top there, that hand is part of the photograph, but we cut it out and made it bigger because you really couldn't see it in the original photograph. Other than that, nothing has changed. We made sure that the contrast was right. We made sure that those kinds of details were correct in terms of dodging and burning, but not really too much was done to this. Just making sure that we could see that hand, because obviously it's pretty important to the rest of the deck. But that's just a photograph. We got super lucky. We were walking through Union Square. We had 5 minutes to get from Union Square to this place 6 blocks away. We had a friend that we were scheduled to meet. It was freezing cold. We had just gotten off of shooting the Brooklyn Bridge. And we literally ran through 30 seconds. I got 3 images from Union Square, and this was the last one that I got. The other 2 did not involve the bird. The last shot, I remember taking this shot so vividly. I just kind of bent over and grabbed it really quick, wanted to get the light post in the last shot. It's the only shot with a lamp post in it as well. As I was doing that, this bird was landing. And, I couldn't have asked for a better gift from the city herself. So cool. So I really value that essence of photography. Another example is with the Six of Wands in this card here. We really haven't, oh, that's unfortunate. I'll put up a different image somehow with this video, but we really haven't done much to it. We made sure that the contrast was correct. We, anything that needed to be brought out more in the image, we did, but we didn't really spend too much. We didn't cut anything out. We didn't superimpose anything, and the only thing that is kind of cut out and superimposed is the symbol of wands, which in this card is the lights from Grand Central Terminal. But that's it. We didn't alter this photo too much. Another example of that approach to the photography is the Ten of Pentacles. This is just pretty much a straight up image. This is what I shot at the MetLife building It's this really interesting wire sculpture that spans 2 floors. It's beautiful. It's gold and silver. And it just appears to sort of be floating and appearing. I mean, you know, again, all we did was make sure that our contrast was clean. We did what we would have done in the darkroom if we still had a darkroom, except I'm not a Photoshop pro and Chris is, so that's kind of the cool thing about teaming up with a graphic designer, is getting to say, like, this needs to look this way. This is how I would do it if I was in the darkroom. How do we use this tool? What do we do to make it look this way? And he could just make it work. So the only thing that we've really altered in this image is that we've actually cut out these symbols here of the pentacles, and these are from right next door to this building. These are also from Grand Central on the relief in the ceiling, and used them. We thought they would be pretty nice as a pentacle symbol. The last example of this that I'll show is maybe the 9 of Swords. This is 2 separate photographs. This is actually a photograph of the immigrants, or the immigrant, which is a huge sculpture in Battery Park right across from the sphere that was standing between the Twin Towers when it fell. And so this is actually, the other half of this statue is used in the star card, but it's a huge, gorgeous statue, and this is superimposed with actually a geometric painting that's on the side of a building by Washington Square Park. So we really, again, didn't do too much. I mean, the lines are also from a wrought iron gate, because we used gates and window guards as our sword symbol. But we really haven't changed it too much. We haven't done much to it. We just let the photos sit together, let the light move through them as they would, and, you know, left the image as it was. And that's a huge contrast to what we did with these other ones, and this is kind of the cool thing that I learned and got to open up to with sort of taking my old school photography style. I'm a very kind of analog type of person. I really miss 35mm film, if I'm being totally honest. But this was fun. This really opened me up, because this is really, you know, these are some of the Photoshop heavy cards where we got to really cut and paste and pick concepts, and this is where Chris really got to shine as graphic designer as well. For instance, this card has got at least 4 different images in it. The Statue of Liberty was shot from Battery Park, and thank God for my camera for getting this. And then this Liberty sign actually is kind of sitting above everything by the municipal buildings right off of the Brooklyn Bridge. And then these guys here, these statues were taken from a completely different space in front of a little church, I think on West 45th Avenue, somewhere in Manhattan, while I was just lost in space, shooting and listening to music on my own while Chris spent some time with his brother, so that was kind of cool. And then the building behind everything is actually part of the city government buildings in the same area as where the Liberty sign here was shot. So this obviously is really full of graphic design skill. Kudos to Chris for holding stuff like this down and making it happen. And it was really fun to open up photographically to those kinds of concepts. Another example of that is the Two of Wands. So we have the Washington Bridge here, and we've superimposed it with a photo of all of the buildings that you can see off of the Brooklyn Bridge when you're heading toward Manhattan. But we've used, you know, special filters and a lot of graphic design work to kind of get this to happen, and Chris and I sort of sat down and fought over the contrast and where it should sit and all those kinds of concepts, but it certainly wouldn't have been possible without the modern miracle of Photoshop. And then the last one, which I know Chris is really proud of, and we both really love this card, is the Ten of Cups, and this is also 3 separate images. If you see the water sprouting up here, this is actually a fountain in it's not Hyde Park, the park behind the New York City Library, and the name is totally eluding me right now, but I will post it in the video. But you know, this fountain was really cool because it's got, you can't really see it from here, but it's got little icicle drips, like the water dripped down, and it was in the middle of winter, so you've got like these beautiful icicles that when you really look into the card you can see, and then this beautiful, the detail of the water sort of glistening here. This sign came from Broadway. Chris had to work really hard to make work in this photo. And then, of course, the glasses as symbols of the cups is a separate image that I took at a really cute restaurant in the Dumbo in Brooklyn. So, you know, again, another card that's like really kudos, showing off Chris's Photoshop talents. And also, you know, one of those cards that really challenged me as a photographer to open up to modern digital photography and sort of utilizing those modern graphic design tools to craft images. So I hope that you enjoyed this little piece about the photography. You know, outside of the tarot, outside of New York City, the photography piece is a medium that I care very much about. It's very important to me, and it's sort of been always very therapeutic for me. Something that I've just always loved. So I hope you enjoyed these little tidbits about the photography and the black and white and sort of what's actually in the images. And if you want to support the campaign, we would love, love, love to share our perks with you. So you can check out the link that I've provided. And we've got some amazing stuff. We've got everything from digital downloads at very affordable prices to, you know, your own trip to be photographed and put in the deck. So be sure to check it out, and if you feel so inclined, pass it on. Thank you so much for your support and for watching this very long video, and I'm sure I'll see you soon. Bye.